Hello, welcome to Old Nerd Halloween. I read Creepy Things. I have 4 issues of Charlton Comics Creepy Things. There were 6 issues of this series published in total. I have issues 2, 3, 5, and 6 here. I picked them up from a Facebook Live sale at my local comic shop, which isn't real local. It's about an hour and a half drive for me, or maybe a little more, to get to the comic shop. But they have a Facebook Live sale every once in a while, and I picked these up on one of those not too long ago. I got them out and read them. It's good Halloween reading, right? So happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you're enjoying it. I certainly am, because I got to read all 4 of these Creepy Things issues. Starting here with number 2, Tom Sutton. He's the cover artist here. He was a fairly popular back in the 70s, I guess. He did a lot of monster and horror type comics, mostly for Carlton, but he also did some for Marvel and DC. I think he even did a few early issues of Star Wars at Marvel. But he's probably the most prominent artist in all these issues of Creepy Things. Joe Gill wrote quite a few of these stories. I do not know much about Joe Gill, other than he wrote for Creepy Things a little bit. And this artist, Nietz, I don't know who that is, but he's got a cool style. See, a lot of these old Carlton comics are like more, I think they're cheaper, like the paper quality. But usually when you come across these books, they're pretty beat up. These 4 are in pretty nice shape. They're probably at least in fine condition, if not a little better. All 4 of them. That's why I picked them up. They were actually in really nice condition, and it's hard to find them in good condition. Here's the story in this issue that's drawn by Tom Sutton. From the cover art. Slime, Slogs, and Glumps. It's a pretty cool story about a boy that lives in the swamps, and he's sick of picking up toads, and a neighbor friend of his, this girl, comes along and tells him about these other slimes, glumps, these other creatures that live in a remote area of the swamp. So he catches a few of the babies and brings them home. His parents can hear them in his bedroom at night. He's got an aquarium. He keeps them in his bedroom. The parents can hear them. They wake up. They open the door, and they see these weird creatures in his aquarium, and they kill them. And the little boy says, what have you done? The creatures in the swamp, they're the babies of the creatures in the swamp. They let me keep them overnight. And so here they come, the parents of the creatures that the father just killed. These stories aren't great in here, but they're also not bad. I would consider them cozy reading. Halloween cozy comic reading, especially if you're an old nerd like me. It takes you back to the days when I first discovered comics in the 70s. Charlton Comics was pretty popular at that point. You'd see a lot of them. Charlton Comics did a lot of they had a lot of licensed comics back then, and I can remember like the Flintstones. Was it Hong Kong Phooey? Did they do Hong Kong Phooey? I think. Here, Space 1999 was one of their licensed comics, and I didn't have any of those. I had some of the cartoon books. Like here you can get a subscription. You can send away and get a subscription to their books. But like here's a bunch of the stuff that I would have seen, like Popeye, Scooby-Doo, Speed Buggy. I remember there was a copy of a Speed Buggy comic at my grandparents' house. I think there was a Hong Kong Phooey. Beetle Bailey. I think there was a couple Beetle Baileys. And then they had some romance titles. Mystery titles, which I think Creepy Things is considered a mystery title. These are all basically horror the titles in this list of mystery. And here's some of their special adventure. Doomsday Plus One. That's where John Byrne got his start. But these older these older copies of Charlton Comics are kind of hard to find in good condition. Here, this is Mike Zeck from like Secret Wars and Captain America, and did all those famous issues of the Punisher, the first Punisher limited series in the 80s. He did some early work here. He did this cover, and you can't really tell it's Mike Zeck. At least I can't. To me, it doesn't look like the Mike Zeck that I know from Marvel Comics. I believe in issue number 2, he's got a 1-page story in here. See if I can find it and show it real quick. Yeah. See? Mike Zeck, artist. This is just a 1-pager. But a lot of these comics, they have like little 1-page stories like that. A couple of longer like maybe 2 longer stories. And I think this one might even have a text story in it. Or maybe that was a further down the line that had the text story in it. Was it number 6? Mike Zeck cover? Steve Ditko did a bunch of these as well. He did the art on a few, at least 2 of them, if not 3. Yeah, right here. Text story. So there's a little bit of everything in these. Like I said, none of the stories were really great. The artwork's pretty good. The stories are average. They're good enough. They have a letters column in a lot of these, and Charlton's thing seems to be that they were kind of railing against Marvel and DC had a lot of reprint titles in the 70s, where they repackaged older stories, sold them again and with a new title and a new book. And Charlton seems to be going against them, saying that, when you buy something from Charlton, you're getting new stories and art. So Charlton was kind of taking a shot at Marvel and DC for all the reprint titles they had going on at that time. And let's see, Charlton lasted from 1945 to 1986. And of course, in 1986, that's when they sold a bunch of their original property of their characters to DC, just before they Charlton went out of business right after they sold the Blue Beetle. Most famously, the Blue Beetle got sold. And what's the TV show right now that's famous? Well, not famous, but pretty popular with comic book fans. The Peacemaker? Is that the character? Was he originally a Charlton character too, along with Blue Beetle? I can't remember. But anyway, I know Blue Beetle was. Charlton Comics lasted from 1945 all the way through to 1986, when they finally went under and sold off their original characters to DC. And pretty cool stuff. If you can ever find Charlton Comics and they're in good shape, grab them if you're a collector like me, an old nerd collector. They're fun. They're nostalgic. They're history as far as us nerds go. If you like this content, please subscribe. I do a regular series of videos on here where I'm reading my Marvel comic collection in release date order. I do a video for each comic that I read, so stick around for that. I also review some DVDs. I'm a big physical media person, so you'll see a lot of physical media type videos on here as well. If you know anything about Charlton Comics or anything that I got wrong in my spiel about them here, please comment that down below. I hope you are having a great Halloween. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.